Hey everyone, it's Santosh from Broadcom.
Hi everyone, this is Pullarov from Broadcom.
So traditionally, can we get started or you want to wait for some more folks to join?
Yeah, I think we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes for
Okay,
to see if a few more folks will join.
sure.
Okay, I think we can get started. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen, Pullarov?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yes, Deshne. Yeah. Yeah, this pull request is mainly designed mainly for the linear pluggable optics tuning parameters. And the linear pluggable optics are mainly designed in the to reduce the low power consumption, low cost, and in the data center to reduce the power, and it has the pluggable modules and low cost, low latency, and it is different from the traditional DSP and CDR chips. So it is mainly useful for the data center in the AI and ML with the high data speeds and high data rates. So these are the I am proposing the new attributes to the existing Saturdays attributes. Each Saturday's attributes. Here total six new attributes are we are introducing. In that, first two attributes are related to nonlinear compensation, mainly for the lower eye and upper eye. And the next one was the reach mode. Mainly reach mode is the normal mode, and the valid values are normal mode and extended mode parameters. And the another next attribute is related to the ECD, correction detection. It is also called maximum likelihood sequence estimation. It's a state. It is also a Boolean value, true or false. and the remaining attributes are related to the polarity settings. One is for the transmit and one is for the receiving. The polarity settings are normal polarity and the inverted polarity. And the valid values type enums I have described here in the initial changes in the thing in the psi port.h attribute file. Um, These are generally the these can be configured for each lane for the port. It can have the number of lanes. For each lane, we can configure the values for each of the parameter. So these new attributes are added to the psi port service attribute enum. And these are the all the new parameters are create and set. We have to provide these parameters at the create and also can configure the set during the set operation. Yeah, that.
Not all attributes are mandatory, right, for every. That depends on the LPO module.
Yes,
Although
yes.
these tuning parameters are listed in a generic fashion, depending on the underlying module, the LPO optics, we may not need the polarity, right? So
Yes.
we may not need ECD. So it kind of the tuning part is the main
Uh,
crux of the LPO support. So all these
yes.
parameters are exposed via SI for the various modules. And we have integrated few modules already with LPO optics and the tuning parameters we get from the vendor. And we typically use the sonic media settings file to push these attributes to the SI and then program in the hardware. It is a fairly simple PR. If you have any specific questions, we can go over it.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question. AD from NVIDIA. We discussed internally this parameter. It looks like, okay, a couple of them, reach mode and the ECD MLSC state are not exactly standard one, okay, defined in well, standard specifications. So the question, okay, if they should be defined in community side file, or you know we have now new infrastructure inside allowing to define in custom folder. Okay, so maybe it's relevant maybe for your implementation of signal integrity and not mandatory for other vendors. So what do you think?
You talked about reach mode. What was the other thing you mentioned?
Yeah, reach mode and ECD.
ECD. Okay.
Actually, MLS is a standard one. It's a maximum likelihood and it's a pretty standard. Reach mode, maybe we can think of.
So
because that's a standard LPO tuning parameter.
Okay, Andy, do you want to add?
So if there is a standard, so as far as we know, MLSC is the receiver functionality, which is not mandatory by standard. So if there is a specific standard that is mapped to, maybe we can point it out because not all. There's no mandate on the receiver to have a MLSC, for example. It's a specific implementation of a certain receiver.
Right. Yes, as I said, yeah, not all of these are mandatory for every transceiver. The link may come up even without these configurations and the tuning. But I guess we're talking about different modules here from different vendors. and some of them may require reach mode, some of them may require polarity and stuff like that. So I think we combined all the properties into this so that everything is part of the LPO support. But I do understand, like, if these parameters are not part of the standard spec, then probably, we have to move it out of the port.h. So let me go back and check, there's a LPO specification available to see which of these are actually mentioned in the spec and which are not.
Yeah, so
so I'll-
NLC, for example, is mentioned in the spec. I agree on that. The rest, the ACD and the MLSC is specific, I think. I'm not
I
sure
see.
it's.
And you're talking about the LPO spec, right? When you say spec.
Yeah, so the NLC is in the LPO MSA and already in CME standard as well. So yes.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So if we want to redefine this, if assuming like one parameter is not a standard, should we move it to we have to use some other way to define this? Is there any suggestion on that front?
Yes, as I mentioned, there is some infrastructure recently added by Microsoft to SAI API. It is a kind of a custom folder that each vendor can define its own proprietary SAI attribute from customer range to define it in it. Okay, so it will be a part of their own distribution. Okay, so not necessarily a part of generic SAI. Okay, so I think
Okay.
it is the best approach now because in many include files we have a lot of very much vendor specific attribute. So I think this infrastructure can allow to have it a bit cleaner. Okay, let's put what is indeed standard defined in specification and will be useful for all vendors, and all the rest specific to platform, to ASIC, to service. Okay, it's better to keep in custom. So we also started internally to apply this approach to many to many attributes what is related, for example, to our specific platform, to ASIC, or some customer requirement which are not all the standard. Okay, so we started using this custom folder. Yeah, so there is some small document by Microsoft, and there is this infrastructure with validation of SAI attributes. Okay, so it can be used as a part of SAI distribution.
Santosh,
So
I have
is the
a
concern here?
question there. Sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry, who was speaking? Go ahead, please. I cross-talked you.
Vijay, this is Vishnu. So
Yeah.
I was trying to ask if there is a concern that these attributes are not standard, so it may differ from vendor to vendor, and that's the reason why we want to move this to the custom framework that Microsoft introduced.
Correct.
Or
I was asking the same question. I thought that these attributes are standard, Eddie, right? I mean, they are not like any vendor-specific attributes, right?
No, again, we have we think that a couple of them, maybe it makes sense to check reach mode and MLSC. Please double check, if it's really related to standard. Okay,
Yeah, I looked at it before, Eddie, on
Mhm.
this, and I think all of them, right? I was not sure about some, like the lower I percentage, etc. But apparently, Santosh, can you correct me?
Actually, I have not cross-checked these with the standard check. So I think we focus on like implementing and enabling the support. But I think the standard part I have not actually cross-checked. So I'll have to go through each attribute and check the LPO spec. I'll get back in the PR.
Right. And I think
Yeah.
because this space is pretty fast evolving, so the best way to not just standards, the spec of the SerDes which are being used like Candor or other ones, and then see that are they common across. I know for sure that a lot of them are common across different vendors. Yeah. But please take a look. That's
I'll take an action item.
Yeah.
I'll
please
check the spec
double
and come
check.
back.
Okay, to decide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else you want to highlight, Pula, on this?
Yeah, that's it, Santosh. That's it.
Yeah, is there any like anyone can put the comments in the PR, or shall I summarize this discussion and add it to the PR? What was discussed here?
No, Eddie can add comment. Eddie, would you be
Yeah,
able to please?
Okay,
that
I
will be.
will I will add a comment. Okay, for a couple of attributes that we think they are not very common and defined in
Sure.
standard.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
I
thanks
will put it.
already. That will help.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
Thanks.
I think we are done here, Jay or
Mm.
Tejaswini. I think we can move on. Unless there are no questions.
Thanks,
Okay,
Satish.
so
Yeah.
now it's my turn. Yes, just a moment.
Eddie, while you're sharing, I just added few comments. Let me give you a little background on that. So this spec originally was submitted by NVIDIA, which was supposed to come from, there was some conflict. It was supposed to come from UEC, and I did approve it on behalf of UEC. And if you go to the original PR, there were a lot of discussion about the naming convention, the nomenclature, right? The way.
Right, so it was changed as far as I remember. Okay, in the beginning we had trimming and trimmed, and then eventually, as far as I remember, okay, it was even your proposal to have only trim. So you have here we have only trim, not trimmed or trimming.
Yeah, trim, that's correct. But the qualification, I think it got swapped. So the queue, which is handling the trim packets, is called as trim queue. The packets which are got trimmed are trim packets, and so on and so forth. So I don't know if you see my comments. If you refresh, you will see my comments. I just put it. So you're right, right? That part is correct, but the qualification got swapped. So it's not trim drop packets, it's dropped trim packets like that.
Drop trim packet.
Yes,
Okay.
I have added comments on each one of them if you see just now, like 5 minutes back.
Okay. So drop trim, send trim. Okay, we will change it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you see my comments? Can you see, refresh it and see if you are able to see it at least?
Yeah, just a moment.
If you go on the files, yeah, file changed. Yeah, it's showing it here. Yes.
Okay, start trim dropped trim. Okay.
Yeah. Everywhere I have just does this minor clarification.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So you say okay, trimming eligible queue is also side port queue trim. Okay, we will align.
Right. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just the way we
Sure.
agreed. Yeah.
Sure. It's very small. Yeah. Okay, good. So overall, okay, we added a couple of counters that we think will be very helpful while debugging at 3 different levels. Okay, one at port levels. This counter counts all. Just a moment. Okay, yeah, this one. This counter counts packet successfully trimmed and successfully sent, okay, over queue that we are configured for trimmed packet. This trim dropped or dropped trim packet, okay, it is a counter of packet that were trimmed but dropped due to failure buffer admission on new queue. Just to remind, we have trimming eligible queues where instead of tail drop, we are doing trimming, right? For example, yeah, we can have 3 of such queue, and then we configure queue where all these trimmed packet will be sent out, okay? So in this case, on original queue, packet is trimmed, but not successfully sent because on new queue, it probably had congestion, okay? It might have some forwarded traffic in addition to trimmed packet, okay? And then it's admission to shared buffer doesn't happen, and actually the packet is dropped, okay? So these two counter at port level, okay, count packet successfully trimmed but dropped, and this counter it's trimmed and sent, okay, at port level. Okay, so we can have multiple trimming eligible queues. So this counter is at port level, counts everything. Okay, now counter at queue level actually counts the same event, okay, but at queue level. So I mean that queue start trim dropped packet, okay, so it's successfully trimmed but failed to send it out through a new queue. And this counter counts it on a original trimming eligible queue. Okay, and same, okay, trim and send, okay, on original queue. How many packet we succeeded trimming and sending out through new configured queue. Okay, and also a couple of counters at switch level. Okay, we think that some cases, okay, also can be helpful. Same logic. Okay, same logic. Trim and dropped. Trim and send. Okay, so we just added 3 pairs of counter at port, queue, and switch level to count packet. Trimmed and sent, trimmed and dropped. That's it. It's all our PR. And we will align, okay, yeah, thank you, Jay, okay, and we will align with your suggestion on name.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie, on that.
No problem. Okay, so maybe if you have time, okay, we have one very small PR to add. It's just one attribute. We would like to add label attribute to mirror session, pretty much similar like we have for port channel and policer. And it can be very useful to have this label in use cases like, for example, warm boot. Okay, warm boot ASSU, when we need to recreate some SI object, but we might want to probably use the same hardware handler, okay, in order to make sure that during warm boot, okay, we still have mirror functionality working, and previously it was done for policer, for port channel. So we would like to add a new attribute label for mirror session. It will allow us or to any vendor, okay, to define, to identify the mirror session, and if needed, to use the same hardware resource, okay, to make sure continuity of the service. If you are not going to use it, okay, it's optional for setting. Yeah, so nothing is set here. That's
Yeah,
it.
this is straightforward. There's nothing very special about it. Yeah. I'm gonna take care of it right now. Which label, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, label.
Yeah, all right. This one I can approve it. I'm approving it as we speak.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's 2 PRs. Okay, so thank you for immediate approving of this one, and for the previous one. Okay, we will we will modify, and we'll appreciate also your approval.
All right, we'll do that, Eddie, once the
Excellent.
comments are resolved. Yes, thanks. Yeah.
Any other questions for Reddy, or anybody wants to bring up anything? Okay, if not, I think we get some time back. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.